Welcome back. In this session, we're going to continue working on our monochromatic cityscape. In this session, we're going to start working on the windows for our buildings. So, in the past, we did this color mixing chart, and we started with this line of white and grays all the way down to black, and we made value with a monochromatic shade with tints and shades, right? And what we want to do now is we want to utilize all those different kinds of grays and make different windows. So if you look at this other old example, you'll see I have some light gray windows, I have some darker gray windows, I have medium gray windows, and each of them looks different depending on what color the building was originally. So what we're going to do is we're going to be making a variety of tints and shades of just pure gray. So I'm going to get some white, I'm going to get some black, I'm going to mix myself a gray color to start with. I'm going to have on hand a detail brush. This is a number 2 brush so that we can make our windows just by doing little strokes. You should also have a cup of clean water, an empty cup for your dirty water when it's dirty, and a little bitty individual cup like that to to rinse out your own brush in. You'll also want a little bit of yellow for a couple windows that will make yellow. So I'll put a little bit of yellow onto my palette as well. So to get mixing, I'm just going to take a little teeny bit of black here and mix it into my white to make a gray color. Okay, so there you can see our gray. And I want to get, a significant puddle of it mixed up so that I don't have to keep mixing too much. But here's my gray color. I'm going to fill my brush up and I'm going to start making windows. So if I take this brush, I'm going to try to work from right to left so that I don't have, I don't smear it on my hand as I work. But if I take this and I just take my brush and I do one stroke, I can make a window. And then if I fill my brush up again, I can make another stroke and make a window. And then as I go through, I can make horizontal rows of windows that are all pretty much the same size, the same shape, and then I can start making them into columns. And what you want to do is you want to leave a little gap in between them, but you want to keep them in a nice straight up and down column for your windows, and nice horizontal rows for your windows like this. And try to keep your brush strokes pretty similar, okay, so that you have a variety of pattern of stroke, but it turns into a pattern, which is what we want it to be. Okay, and notice how I make one window and then I fill my brush up and I make the next window. If you kind of make too many windows one right after the next, you won't have enough paint on your brush to truly make the window look nice and full and have enough paint on your brush. Now if these are the windows, we pretty much won't even see the door because the door is going to be so small. So we might put a door on later, but I think we'll probably leave the doors off the building. Okay. Now you're going to run into some instances where the building might be too wide or too thin to take on the right amount of windows, and so you might have to be creative about how you fill some of the spaces. For example, right up here on this piece, what am I going to do up there? I could put 2 windows there, like these 2, okay? Or I could maybe have one big window because it's the penthouse suite. So maybe I have one big window like this. All right? So you're going to have to make some decisions about what you want, where you want it, and how big or small things are going to be. So now that you get the idea of how to make those windows, Mr. Lundgren, you can pretty much fast forward until the end part where I talk about a couple yellow windows. So here I go. The rest of this video is just going to be me working without speaking. And what I'll do actually is I'll just work right up until the end. Okay, now at this point we are going to clean off our brush and pick 2 windows, just 2, that are yellow. And if you've been watching and you're looking for it, you might even see where I'm going to put those 2 windows. I'm going to clean my brush off really well, get my yellow. I'm going to make one of my windows right here, and I'm going to make my other window right down here. And now on this darker building I might have to make my yellow a little bit thicker so that it'll stand out. And we're only going to use 5 yellow buildings. There's 5 yellow windows. There's 2 of them, and we'll put 3 back up here. Now this is going to end our session for our first row of buildings, noting that we used a monochromatic color scheme with our gray, and we are just mixing tints and shades of that monochromatic scale so that we have a variety of grays and a variety of windows on our buildings. Okay, we'll meet you back in the next session where we do the windows in our second row of buildings.